it interesting that our federal government has money for war, but not to feed the poor? Welcome back to Wine and Chill. I'm Stephanie, your favorite recovering lawyer, where once a month, every month, we discuss what the heck is going on with student loan forgiveness and my progress towards paying off my 6-figure student loans. Which, well, this is Wine and Chill. We don't have any wine because I don't have the time today. The technology and me are not getting along, but I did get a new microphone. It's shout out to Halise for helping me troubleshoot this right now. All right, so our agenda is quickly going to be, this is going to be a quick video, what I paid in September. Everything is always retroactive, so happy Halloween. This should hopefully come out today, and if not, that's totally my fault. Shout out to Candace, my wonderful editor, for bearing with all the difficulties. So then we're going to talk about, today is the first month of student loan repayment, which is October. Did you make your payment? Please say yes. We're going to discuss the SAVE plan again for the 50 millionth time. And then, last but not least, refinancing your student loans. All right, so what I paid in September. I have finally started to pay back a little bit of money, honey, this year. So if you've been following this series, which is run for the length of the channel, I started paying off my student loans February 14th, 2020 to the whopping tune of $304,680.17 trifling cents. I was holding that cough in, but as you can see, I'm allergic to that because 75,000 of those trifling pennies, no, 75,000 of those trifling dollars, that would be additional pennies times 100, are interest, aka money I did not borrow. So in September, I paid $2,500, which I think that might be the most I've paid all year. So when I used to work in corporate, I am a recovering lawyer. I have been a content creator now full time for a little bit over a year. I was making about $4,000 or $5,000 payments. And then this past year, the money was looking a little funny. So I started making $500 payments, and I'm finally back to, a little bit of larger payments. So that brings my starting balance in October, the remainder being $159,273.97 trifling cents, bringing my estimated total paid to $156,794.63 trifling cents. Deep sigh, deep sigh. I am proud of myself. In the month of October, I also did make another large payment as well, which we'll talk about in next month in November. So, the SAVE plan, everything we've been talking about. The SAVE plan, again, does not go into effect to July 2024. And I bring up the SAVE plan because student loan forbearance has ended. Student loan forgiveness, unfortunately, has been canceled due to the Supreme Court ruling. And the first month of official repayment was this month, October 2023. Did you make your payment? Say yes. I really hope this goes out tonight so that way, in case you forgot to make your payment, you make your payment. And the reason why I bring the SAVE plan up in tandem is the Department of Education put out some literature that we did discuss in detail, which said that they were going to have an on-ramp period to allow people to have some time to pay their student loans. And during that on-ramp period, your credit score should not be affected, etc., etc. All right, so I finally have some updates for you as to the on-ramp period to get everyone back into paying their student loans since we have been in a 3-year forbearance. So the Department of Education has finally put out a little bit of guidance as to what is going on during this transition. So during the transition period through September 30th, 2024 of next year, there is currently going to be an on-ramp transition period. During this period, you do not need to request or enroll in the on-ramp period. If your loans were eligible for the payment pause, you are automatically eligible for the on-ramp. So, important to know, if you have private student loans, this automatically will not apply to you. And just double check that for the past 3 years, you have been eligible for forbearance. This will apply to you. So, during the on-ramp period, essentially what this means, according to the Department of Education, your account will no longer be considered delinquent and will be made current. Your recent missed payments will not lead to negative credit reporting, so they are not going to call, the credit bureaus on you, according to the Department of Education. Your loans will not default and therefore will not be sent to collection agencies. Now, important to note, this is not stopping your student loan service provider from charging you interest. That interest is still going to accrue. So I highly recommend you see how much your interest is and pay at least whatever the interest amount is per month. That interest amount is likely higher than your minimum payment because your goal is to get debt free. So you're going to have to pay the interest, unfortunately. All right. And all of this is from studentaid.gov if you have any questions about how this works. Make your payment at least for the next couple of months while you figure out what to do with your student loans. Now, the SAVE plan, which we've discussed, you can watch the September student loan repayment plan as well as the August one is where we discuss it in depth. The SAVE plan does not go into effect until July 2024. If your current student loan service provider, mine is Aid Advantage, formerly Fed Loan, if you are confused as to what your payment is, just give them a call. Now, I said that we would talk for months about student loan refinancing, and I would do the research into student loan refinancing, and I have. And what I have found is a little dismal, to be honest. So my remaining 3 student loans range from, actually it's right here on the board, 6.41, I have a whole chart of this, 6.41% to 7.21%. That's high. That's how I got $75,000 of unpaid interest. Currently, the student loan refinancing companies are starting their interest rates at 5%. So, as you can see, that is not a huge difference between 6.41%, but every percentage point does lessen the amount you pay over time. The dilemma that I personally am having now is if you refinance your student loans, so my remainder balance is again with 3 remaining student loans, I'm at $156,794.63 trifling cents. When you refinance large student loans, any student loans, the student loan refinancing company has a shorter payment period. So instead of the 20 years, it's going to give you a 5-year term, a 10-year term. You can do a 15-year term, but the repayment amount for myself is starting at $1,100 a month, which last month, September, I paid $2,500. This month, October, spoiler alert, I paid $2,000. I should be able to swing it. The nervousness on my end, truthfully, frankly, invulnerably, is that a word? Let's look that up. And being vulnerable is why we've kept this series for a long time is with content creation, the money is up and down. The money is funny, honey. You never know. So my nervousness is if I refinance my loan to get a little bit of a low rate, the rates formerly used to be at 3% and 4%. That was a huge difference. Am I going to make enough to A, meet the payment with my federal student loans for Aid Advantage and meet the refinancing payment? So I'm currently calculating all the money. So when you go ahead and do your math, that's something you want to factor in. So go on to Credible is a great website where without pulling a hard check on your credit score, Credible will go in and give you the top 3 to 5 student loan refinancing rates for you. So that way you can see what the monthly payment will be and what the interest rate will be. It'll pull like a soft pull on your credit score. And with that, you can see, does that amount fit into your budget? So while I go ahead and keep looking at my budget for the 11th time, I have not refinanced my student loans yet. I do plan on refinancing. I have 3 left, at least 1 next month. Because I think with a lot of them are doing basically like cash incentives where if you refinance with them, they'll automatically give you $500. So I think with the $500 and the money saved from going from 6.41%, which is the loan that I want to refinance, to 5%, I will save a little bit of money. That loan has a little bit less than $30,000 owed. I should be able to pay that loan off rather quickly. Let me look into my Aid Advantage account. My loan that's at 6.41% is sitting with a current balance of $23,993.57 trifling cents. So I think I am going to refinance that loan next month and then throw all of my money at that loan to pay it off quickly. That's my goal. Now, one of the things to keep in mind, the whole purpose of refinancing your student loans is that you avoid the high interest rates that you currently have with your federal loans. Is 6.41% to 5% a huge difference? No, but will it save me likely a couple $1,000s in the long run? Yeah, it will. So I'm probably gonna do that next month, so I'll walk y'all through the process when I do that. And as always, I appreciate y'all. Thank you for tuning in. We always do this at the end of the student loan videos. How are you feeling? Personally, I find it interesting, which if you're new to my channel, you can see I have plenty of videos on this, both on my channel as well as Instagram, as well on Patreon. I find it interesting that our federal government, whom I pay taxes to and you pay taxes to, has money for war, but not to feed the poor. And that's a Tupac quote. And specifically, I find it very interesting that they have money for aggression. I was trying to see how we could keep it a little jovial. We can't. How they have money for aggression, but not for student loans. Fascinating. Fascinating. So that's how I'm feeling. And I'm saying it that way because apparently when you make it plain, all of a sudden funny things happen to your video. I'm going to let it go one of these days. Today's not that day though. All right. I appreciate y'all. As always, I hope you have a good start to fall and you keep it pushing and we're going to make it in the end. I'm trying to find some positives. Life has been dismal. It be like that. All right. I'll catch y'all in the next video and shout out to my Patreon. I appreciate y'all so much. A special shout out to Courtney, Judy, Juanita, and David. Thank you for all of your support. All right. Have a good day.